Hello, Assalamualaikum. So this is the second video for chapter 8 communication. Okay, so in this in this video, we want to see the informal communication or the grapevine, where there are 4 types of informal or grapevine: the single strand, gossip, probability, and also cluster. Informal communication. Informal communication is the social relationships that are formed in the workplace, okay, outside of the normal organizational hierarchy. Meaning that if in the formal communication we will exchange information according to hierarchy of the hierarchy, okay, within from the vertical, we have vertical, upward, downward. We also have the horizontal between the same department or different department, across department, where you will exchange the information with the same levels. Okay. However, for the informal communication, we didn't follow all that. We just socialize inside the organization, and since it's informal, so usually we are more free to talk to whoever we want in the organization about whatever topics, okay, which we like. Okay, so as I said before, there are 4 types of informal communication. We have single strand. If you have to draw it, so it will be like this. Okay, single strand, where you will send the message, okay, from one to the other lah. Okay, each tells one another. So A will tell to B, B will tell to C, and so on. The second one we call as gossip. Okay, from one person to and tells to everyone. So A will pass it to all the people he knows. Okay. The third one is the probability. Okay, each randomly tells others. So A randomly to F, so F will randomly to whoever that he meets. Okay, and the last one we have is cluster. Okay, cluster, some tell selected others, most typically lah. Okay, so that some people, okay, some tell selected others. Okay, and then for example here A will tell to this cluster, the colleague, okay, and F have his own colleague, so he will tell these people, his colleague. Okay, so let's see. Okay, first one is the single strand. Okay, single strand involves passing of information through a line of persons to ultimate recipient. Okay, so this chain of communication is the least accurate in channeling information, because information that move from one person to the other are added. Okay, of course, from this red person to the blue one. Okay, so the blue one, when he want to pass to the yellow person, so that he might add some of the information. However, when this yellow person, okay, want to send it to the other person, the brown one, so he or she might forget some of the information from blue, so she just add whatever that she think, okay, appropriate. Okay, or this one person, he of course he don't really understand what this person say, so he just conclude whatever that he want to the next person, and so on. Okay, so it's not accurate, okay, because the message has to travel from one person to the other one. Okay, so by the end of the last person here, it might be completely wrong from whatever this first person intend to send. Okay. The second one is gossip. Okay, so this chain of command often used to convey information that is interesting and is non-job related. Okay, so the most important thing is the news must be interesting to hear, because people love to hear interesting gossip. Okay, conveys information to as many people, to friends, to relatives, and so on. So basically, one person, when he or she hear about this, okay, so he will send the message, okay, or tell other people he know about the gossip. Okay, the third one is the probability. Okay, the probability chain is a random process in which someone transmits the information to others, so it's randomly. The other people who gets the news may tell others at random, or may not convey it to the other people. So we just tell the news, the information, to people who we meet randomly. We didn't select the people who receive it. We just tell it randomly to the other people. Okay. The last one is cluster. Okay, a person, okay, tells the information to a few chosen individuals. So he will tell the news, the information to the selected people that he likes. Okay, these individuals then pass on the information to a few more selected individuals whom they trust, or from specialist chosen individual who they are trying to obtain some favor. The information that is conveyed is usually interesting, job related, and mostly up to date. So basically, cluster is the difference between cluster and single. The single one is because single strand is cluster. We pass the information in group, okay, to a few chosen. But for the single strand, we pass it from one to the other one. Okay. So we already covered up until information. Now we want to continue with the barriers and also the how to overcome the barriers. Okay, the first one, what is the barriers in communication? First, of course, we have the cross-cultural diversity. People with different race, different culture, we have different practices. Okay, so when we meet different people from different cultures, so we have to fully understand their culture, know a little bit their culture, how they communicate. Okay, for example, like us Muslim people, when we want to communicate with other people, okay, which is not your mahram, okay, other gender, so you have to make sure that you have the distance. Okay. Trust and credibility. Sometimes when we get the information and maybe we have certain issues, trust issues or credibility towards the other person, so it might be different for us, difficult for us to really comprehend, to get to trust the information that he gives. Okay, sometimes we have the trust issue with the person who give us the information. Okay. Language characteristic, the language barriers. Okay, sometimes yes, of course, if we communicate in different languages, so if we are not well versed in another language, so of course we do have problems in understanding those messages. Okay, so try to converse in the language where everyone will understand. Gender differences. Okay, so sometimes we use the different with the same language. Okay, however, gender also played important role when we communicate. Okay, because sometimes yes, between male and female, how we communicate is kind of different. Okay, sometimes there are certain women who are more soft spoken, and male who are more loud when they converse. Okay, so might be create confusion between this gender, or sometimes we can say that sometimes women when they speak out, okay, they didn't actually truly mean whatever that they say. They have other information that they want to send, but they didn't convey it to that person. So sometimes different gender might having difficulty to truly understand what does she mean, what she truly wants, something like that. Okay. And also noise. Okay, so noise can be also barriers where it's very difficult for us to get the information if noise happen. Okay, information overload. Too much information, we cannot process the information. We have our limit how long we can take the information. If they are too long, the session is too long, we got the information is overload, is too much, we cannot process the information anymore, so might end up the rest of the information after that we cannot process it, we cannot hear it anymore, take it anymore. Okay, next one is poor listening. Okay, sometimes we have difficulties, trouble to really listen what she mean. Okay, what is the information? So that's why sometimes we didn't get the message. Okay, so that's why it's very important to give the feedback so that the sender can will know at least they truly understand. Okay, time pressure. Sometimes we have this time pressure that we have to compress all the information that we want to send, especially to from the sender. Okay, so sender have this time pressure, time limit that he have to focus on, so that they have to cram everything in the limited time. Okay. So how to overcome all these barriers so that we can have this effective communication? Okay, we want to have this effective communication, because if we didn't get the effective communication, it will be useful. Okay, it will only yes, because it will give you tired. Okay, waste of time, because you try to communicate but that person didn't understand it, didn't get the message. So when we communicate, we want to make sure that the receiver, okay, at least get the message. Okay, so how to make sure that we are able to send this message? Okay, try to get feedback. Always ask for the feedback. Okay, no matter where you go, whom you communicate, have the communication process, try to always get feedback. Even you as the lecturer, you as the student, you as the customer, always try to get the feedback, okay, from the person. Use simple language. Try to use the simple language so that the receiver, okay, the sender will understand. Okay, sorry, the sender should use the simple language, or the receiver should use the simple language when they give the feedback. So whenever you have this communication process, when you communicate with other people, use simple language so that that person will understand you. Okay? Avoid the bombastic language. Avoid noise. Okay, if you really need to communicate, okay, with this person, okay, it's very important. Okay, so try to avoid places where noise might happen. Okay, try to find some area, some place where you can have the nice conversation with the person. You should try to recognize emotions. Okay, sometimes all these people, they have their time that maybe that is not the right time for you to have the conversation with that person. Try to go find the other time, because sometimes we all have our own problems or emotion at that time. But of course, sometimes it's not easy for us to detect the emotion of other people, especially if we only use the text messages. Okay, so if that's really important, so you think that you need to truly see the person, try to have the face-to-face communication. Do not make own conclusions. Okay, whatever that you have from the conversation, okay, that's why you must always, okay, ask for the feedback, really understand, comprehend the information, so that you don't make your own conclusion. Your conclusion might be different from the whatever that the sender is trying to convey. Okay, so we have to make sure we have to truly get the message by the sender or the receiver. Okay. So thank you. That's it for the communication process, communication channels, communication chapters. I hope you understand. I hope that you can at least apply it in your daily life in terms of the communication process. Always try to have the best or effective communication. Thank you.